You guys have asked me several times to make a comparison video between the Tempo 521E and the Armada PRO900. Well, today's the day. You're gonna have to bear with me though. I only have one set of batteries, so we're gonna have to do one at a time. I'm gonna do a few things. We're looking for one valve, zone number 12. We don't know where it is on the property. However, we do know where the locations of several other valves on the property are, so that will help us to determine approximately where this valve might be located. But that's not going to get us to the valve itself. For that, we need one of these locators to bring us directly to the valve. We're going to start with the Tempo locator because it's already got the batteries in it, and we're going to let this locator take us to the valve, if it will. And if it won't, then we'll bring the Armada locator out and attempt to use it to look for the valve. If this one does find the valve or finds what I think is the valve, we'll put a flag in the ground. We won't check. We'll come back over, put the batteries in the other tracker, and then we'll go retest and see if we find the same result with the other tracker. I imagine we might, but we won't know until we try it, so let's try it. The last test that we'll do is I'm going to leave the batteries in one of these transmitters and use the other receiver to see if we can pick up a signal. I imagine it will work as long as it's working on the same frequency. It should hear it. So that's all the things we're going to try today. Let's get started. So to get started with the 521E locator, I have removed the common wire from the controller as well as the field wire for zone number 12. I connected the red wire to the field wire, the black wire to the common wire. I have it configured this way because I'm trying to locate a single valve, and this is the wire configuration for either one of these locators to get to that area. We're trying to look for the one valve. If this doesn't happen to work, I will take that black lead off. We'll use a ground stake, we'll put it in the ground, and we'll search for the wire that way. But we're gonna start with this way first. We're gonna set up our locator. I like to use level 3 because that gives me enough juice into the field. And then I'm gonna go ahead and turn on our receiver and we're gonna get started. Why even stop the camera? Let's just get going. So there's our line there. And you know what? I don't like how low that is. So let's go ahead and turn up the tracker to 4 and get a little bit more juice out of that. That should make it blink. There we go. Now it's blinking. That's a bunch of juice. Let's go back over where we just were at. There it is. Now, I could just track this and follow the wire, but given that I know the other valve locations on the property, and I happen to know the location of where the zone is not working, we can skip the whole part where I track this wire all the way down. But I do want to point something out. There's the wire back under the bushes there. It's real faint here. I know there's a set of valves up here, and you'll see what happens when we run this transmitter or the receiver over these valves. You're going to hear something, and that's the noise we're listening for, but not for these two valves. You hear? But it's not making a certain knock noise that we're listening for. But this is telling me that the valves are here, and they're on that same common wire, so that's why they're popping up with the locator here. But that's not the valve we're looking for. The zone is over there. So now that we're close to the zone, now I do want to start checking these areas because I don't know if they ran a valve in this area and then ran a lateral line across the road there, which is totally possible. So we're going to go with our locator through this area, seeing if we pick up any high signals, which would be a valve. Now, don't get discouraged when you lose the signal. Keep going. Don't stop. All right, we don't have anything underneath the truck there, so let's go around to the other side of the truck. Again, for reference, that's the zone we're trying to figure out. And we're across the parking lot over here. My luck, it would be under the truck. It's not, so good. There's an electrical box right there. Got some interference going on right here because it's picking up the 60 hertz from the high voltage in the ground. That's what you're hearing, that hurts something. All right, so our signal's getting a little bit stronger over here. Now I'll go back through the inside of the bushes if I need to. I hope they didn't install the bushes around the valve, but who knows? Nothing yet. Now I know the valve for zone number 10 is on the outside here, so I am gonna go out here to see if we pick up a higher signal. Oh, wow. Okay. So here's our wire. And I know the valve for number 10 is right by that bus stop up there. And zone 12, what we're looking for is right on the building right there. So we can still be near where the valve is located. I'm getting a better signal here. We'll just keep going with it. Oh, there's that knocking noise. I wanna say, the valve is located somewhere next to this big rock right here. We'll go ahead and draw an X with our foot. I didn't bring a flag with me, but just for reference, we got a pole right there, a rock right there. That's where I think the valve is located, somewhere in this area. All right, let's go back and put the batteries in the other locator and see if it does the same thing for us, except this time we're gonna skip all of that other area, walk right out here, start right at this point and see if it brings us to the same spot. I imagine it will, but let's try it. Well, it turns out I did have enough batteries to run both trackers. I just need to look around my van a little bit more. So we've got batteries in both locators now, and I've got the receiver to this locator in my hand, and I've got that transmitter on right now. So let's go ahead and step out of the sun so you can see the receiver, and we're gonna start it in, what is this? Low. So it's in low frequency. We got the volume turned all the way up, it's set to peak, and it doesn't pick anything up. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and stop this. We'll change it to high frequency. We'll start the locator. It's on peak. The volume is up and nothing. All right, well, it looks like this receiver will not work with that transmitter, but just for playing around purposes here, let's put this sucker on broadcast and see if it will pick it up on broadcast mode. It's trying to pick something up, but that wouldn't be useful to us in the field. So it does look like the Armada receiver will not work with the tempo transmitter. We will try this the other way around. Before we go ahead and test the Armada transmitter with the tempo receiver, let's go ahead and look at the pricing of each of these locators. Starting with everyone's favorite place to get things, Site 1, we've got the 521E listed at $799 here. It's the more affordable of the two options, but I've actually done some research for you, and there is another place that you can get this locator that is not Site 1 that doesn't cost $799, and that's this website here, valuetesters.com. Look, you're going to save $39 by getting it from this website instead of Site 1. Now, Site 1 might have you believe that they'll help you to get the tracker fixed. Well, either way, with either one of these companies, you can reach out to these companies directly and get these trackers serviced directly with them. Moving on to the Armada PRO900 at valuetesters.com, we're looking at a price of $1249. That's a difference of $450 between the two locators. So if you want the more affordable locator, the tempo locator will be the more affordable of the two. While we're at this, let me go ahead and check Site 1, and let's see what Site 1, oh my God, $1,975. Guys, don't buy the locator on Site 1. Go to valuetesters.com and get the locator there. I just found that website today. They're not sponsoring me. I have nothing to do with that website. What I do have to do with is telling you guys some good information, and I feel like this is great information. Go to Value Testers. Save yourself a lot of money. Now, I realize if I log into Site 1, that price will go down a little bit. It will change. But it's shocking to see that that's the price they're showing everybody before they log in. All right, with the Armada locator connected, the same way we had the tempo locator, let's go ahead and pick up this receiver, turn it on. And this receiver doesn't have but only one mode, so well, would you look at that? And this is set to low frequency, and tempo's receiver will pick it up. I wonder, all right, let's try high frequency. It doesn't pick it up as well. The low frequency works better, so I'm actually going to go ahead and go around the corner here. I want to see what this is like when you get further from the locator, because I mean, of course it's going to beep over there. Oh, it's picking it up. Faintly, but it's picking it up. I bet you if I juiced up that locator a little bit more, it would pick it up. Interesting. So you can use the receiver on the tempo to pick up the signal faintly on an Armada PRO900, but you can't do it the other way around. Now you know. Okay. Enough fun and games. Let's go ahead and shut this one down. Let's turn this one on, and we'll head out to where that other area is where we talked about before, and we'll see if we get what we're looking for over there. All right, just want to make sure. I always check before I leave, even though I know all this should be working. I want to make sure, you know, point of reference, make sure it's working at the beginning. Now we're going to walk to the other end of this parking lot to pick up the signal and see what we see. It's only 9:30 in the morning and I'm in a full sweat. Florida is Florida. All right, we're out on the other end here. We got our locator going. Where's our signal? Not enough power here. Got to give it some more volume. There we go. Wow, it's chewing that signal up. The tempo was picking this up, at least a little bit of a signal, but let's see. When we get over that area up there, it would have brought us to the same spot. And it does look like that valve is located right here, right in the same spot, by the rock, by the pole. So both locators will get you to where you're going. At this point, it's mostly a user preference. This locator will go from making that beeping noise to making a solid tone noise, which for some, including myself, is better. I just didn't set up this locator today like that because I was recording video, so I didn't think to do that. But as soon as I stop recording, I'm going to set up this locator for the next use so that it doesn't beep. But as you saw, both locators will do the job. Although I should go grab my shovel and reveal whether or not the valve is actually located there, because I haven't done that yet. So let's do that now. Just kidding. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I highly suggest you do. I did this whole thing where I revealed that that valve location was actually there, and you can see it behind me, the valve was there, but I didn't do it in this video. I did it on Instagram Live. So if you're following me on Instagram, you would have seen that video. It's on there now, so if you're seeing this, you probably already saw that video, but the valve was where we thought it was where the locators brought us to. Now, we have to go see how we're gonna fix this valve, if we're gonna fix it or replace it. It is a Rainbird PGA valve, so if it's stuck open and we can't adjust it to get it to stay not stuck open, and we can't clean some of the aspects of it, then we're going to replace the valve. But let's try to do that first. Well, it turns out that the valve is cracked on the side, so we are gonna have to replace it. And the only way we can get it to shut down is to manually close the flow control. So we're gonna do that for them now so that the rest of the system will operate. And then we'll get this valve replaced for them. But that was the problem with this property this whole time. First we had to find the valve, and now we know the valve is broken and it needs to be replaced. All right, on to the next one.